Let me know in the chat if you can hear me okay. Now, I do my best to look at the camera, but I also want to be able to see the chat and engage with you guys. So put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me okay. If you're watching live, you can put hashtag live. If you're catching the replay, hashtag replay. This is the Fit Family Lifestyle Podcast. This is the 42-day detox, and this is the 28-day holiday accountability challenge. All right. Sweet. Well, welcome everybody. This is week 1 of the holiday accountability challenge, and I'm excited for this journey for all of you. I'm excited for those of you who joined the challenge. I'm excited for those of you who are current clients. I'm excited for those of you who are in the 42-day detox and are chiming in on this challenge as well. So we're going to drop some knowledge over the next 28 days, and our goal here is figuring out how to get through the rest of the holidays. We've got Christmas and New Year's coming up for most people, or Hanukkah, or whatever holidays you're celebrating. But this time of year is definitely a time of year where things are a little bit different. And there's some cold weather, and there's shorter days, and there's a lot of hustle and bustle. There's definitely more get-togethers and gatherings, and there's a lot more food, and there's a lot more food that quite frankly isn't the best for you, but is absolutely delicious. And so what is the person who is on a fitness journey, who's trying to stay fit and healthy, supposed to do? How are they supposed to get through this time of year? Are you supposed to just lock yourself inside and not go anywhere, not attend any holiday parties? Are you supposed to be that annoying fitness person who's like, I brought my own food in my Tupperware, so I'm going to pass on all the delicious stuff that you made? No. And so we're here to show you and tell you how to do these things, and that's what this challenge is all about. Just as a quick reminder, anybody who is participating in this challenge, the more things that you complete, and the daily tasks that you do, like if you send me a picture of your water bottle, if you send me a picture of any food that you've prepped, if you let me know what your plan for your workout is for the day, if you invite a friend to join the challenge, if you say, hey, I'm doing this cool 28-day challenge thing, if you invite you get a friend, you get points for all of those things. And the person, we're going to pick 2, the person at the end of the challenge that racked up the most points, that stayed the most consistent, because remember, this is an accountability challenge. So the reason you're sending me pictures of your water bottle and the food and your plan for your workouts is to hold you accountable to building these habits. So the first place winner of the challenge is going to get $5,000 worth of prizes. And then we're going to do a second place. We're going to do a runner-up with $3,000 worth of prizes. So this is exciting. You're incentivized to do some simple things that are not only going to benefit you, help you be healthy, help you build those habits that you're going to need when January comes and you get really serious about getting in shape and losing weight and just being the best version of yourself. But you also get an opportunity to win some cool stuff. So I'm excited. Let's dive into some things that I want you guys to be able to focus on. So we're going to talk about the psychology of eating and understanding the slip-up cycle, okay? We've all been on, and let me get some light on the situation here. Hold on one second. Too bright. All right, that's better. Okay. We've all had that cycle, right? We've all had that day or that time when we started a fitness journey, we started eating healthy, but then you had a day where maybe you were tired. Maybe somebody invited you to a gathering. Maybe it was your birthday and you had one slip up. You had one time where you ate something and it wasn't the healthiest. And then you decided, like, well, I've already fallen off the wagon, so I've already blew my diet for the day, so screw it. I might as well just go for broke. Um, we've all had that slip up, right? We've all had that experience of feeling like we failed. We didn't adhere to what we agreed to adhere to, and so we just throw in the towel and be like, well, I've already blown my diet. So we have this exaggerated response. So this week we're going to explore strategies to recognize and break that cycle, because if there's any month to have slip ups, this is that month, right? This is Christmas month. um, this is about maintaining a balanced approach to eating, where occasional indulgences are okay and they don't have to derail your entire efforts and all the work that you've put in. You have to be able to give you some grace. And just so you guys are aware, I'm not ignoring you. I'm not reading a teleprompter. I'm paying attention to the chat because I don't want to miss anyone chiming in. And if anyone has questions, I want to be sure to jump in and answer any questions. And I encourage you guys to engage. I want you guys to ask questions, to chime in, to share your experiences. So tell me, put a one in the chat if you've ever experienced that. If you've ever been on a fitness journey and you've ever, or not, maybe not even a fitness journey, but even just tried to, like, decided I'm going to eat more healthy. And maybe you go 2 or 3 days and you're cutting out sugar, you're not drinking any soda, but then you go to a church function or a birthday party or whatever it is, and you end up drinking a soda or having a cookie, and then the rest of your day is just you string together all these bad decisions in terms of food because you made that one mistake, because you had that one indulgence, right? Put a one in the chat if that's ever happened to you, because I know that I can think of times where I've had instances where that's happened to me, where I was like on track eating healthy, but then I had a day where someone offered me something. It was a weak moment. I said, just one. And then after I ate that, then I had another one. And then I was like, well, I already blew it, so I might as well just eat whatever I want for the rest of the day. And then you really blow it. And so this week we're focusing on breaking that cycle, right? So the way we break this cycle is with the art of portion control. Okay. Um, and the first step of the art of portion control is looking at balanced plates. Okay. So when you think about your plate and not your Thanksgiving size plate, right? How many of you for Thanksgiving had a plate that wasn't a normal plate, but it was this weird, like, oblong, oval shaped plate that you could fit like servings for 6 people on? Because I know that we had those, and I was like, oh my God, can you imagine eating a plate like this every day? This is crazy. But I'm going to think of a normal plate, a round plate, a normal dinner plate. How much food should go on that? Okay. Now, those of you who are my clients know that I'm big on you tracking your calories. And we're going to get there. We're going to get into that for everybody else who's joining this challenge. But if this is your first step into starting your fitness journey, we're not going to jump in and bombard you with the most difficult things to do, the most challenging things to do during a time where it's the most challenging to do them, right? The holidays. We're going to start with some simple things, and we're going to talk about portion control and our plate, okay? So portion control is the cornerstone of maintaining a healthy diet, especially during the holidays. A balanced plate includes a mix of macronutrients. You have your fats, your carbohydrates, and your proteins. And each of those play a very unique role in your health, okay? We need all of them. We need balance, okay? We can't just completely cut out carbohydrates out of our diet. The mainstream media and the fad diet and the nutrition industry will have you believe that, oh, you just cut carbs out, you do keto. Well, the problem with that is there are several vegetables that are very essential and have all of the nutrients that our body needs to be at peak nutrition level. And guess what? Those vegetables have carbohydrates in them. And if we cut carbohydrates out of their diet, then we deprive ourselves of things that are very good for us. They're whole foods, they're natural, they grow from the earth, and we need those things in our body. So it's all about having a balance of those. So the first thing that we'll use is a simple visual method for portion control. So everybody make a fist and hold up your fist. Everybody's fist is a different size. This is my fist. We want this size, a fist size portion of protein on our plate. Okay? One fist of protein. So imagine a plate. Take your fist. About that, between 4 to 6 ounces. Not important to measure it, but that should be the amount of protein. So when you're making a plate of food or making a Tupperware with food prep or whatever you're doing, we want to look at how much food am I putting on my plate. First, we're starting with protein. You want to start with a fist size portion of protein. Okay? And then we want to do the same for vegetables. We want to do a fist size serving of vegetables. And then for anything that is high in fats or sugary carbohydrates, we want to do half a fist. So if you look at your fist and you close one eye and you do this, and that's about half, we're going to do a little bit less. And here's the reason why. We want to have less processed sugars and carbohydrates. And we know that fat is a more dense food that is more calorically dense. So for every gram of fat, there's 9 calories, whereas every gram of protein and carbs, there's 4 calories. And so if we're trying to limit calories and limit, sugars, processed sugars, and carbohydrates, we want to cut it to half. So if you let's say you have a piece of chicken, fist size, vegetables, fist size, rice, half a fist, noodles, half a fist. Okay? Or cut out the noodles because we want the cookies that Grandma Sally made. Is it about the size of half my fist? Then it's good. Okay? So let me know if that makes sense. So the first thing that we're looking at doing is making our plate make sense in terms of portion sizes without doing all the crazy things of calculating the calories, without doing all the crazy things of measuring and weighing food and knowing exactly how much something is. We can simply look at our plate and know, like, okay, that's about a fist size of protein, fist size of vegetables, and then half a fist of carbohydrates. Or we're not doing any kind of starch because we know that we're planning on having some kind of dessert that's about the size of half of our fist. So that should make sense, right? Doing that makes it a much simpler process, especially when you get invited to a holiday get-together, right? Where there's a buffet of different options. So this is where you make your choices. You go based on your plate. Everybody will say, well, all the food's set up. Please help yourself. Get your plate, measure your portions out. And then if you stick to this, you're going to have that balance, but you're also going to be able to enjoy the things that are made there. Okay. The other thing that we want to look at is whole food focused. Okay. So another key aspect of portion control is prioritizing whole foods. Grains, animal-based like meat or dairy, whole foods provide more nutrients and fiber, keeping you fuller longer and helping you avoid sugar spikes and crashes that are often associated with processed food. Now, I could do a whole 3-hour podcast on processed food and what that means, and we're not going to get into that today, but let's just simplify it for the sake of this discussion. Anything that grows on the earth or is from the earth and isn't mixed with a bunch of other things before you eat it is a whole food. Okay, so your lean meats, your fruits, your vegetables, and that's okay if they come from a can. Yes, that's processed. It's still a vegetable. Okay, if it's packaged meat like ground meat, yes, it's processed. It's still, for the purposes of this conversation, we're still going to consider that a whole food. Now, when we take something where flour and sugar and then salt and then margarine or some kind of polyunsaturated oil is mixed in, that's what we're considering a really highly processed food. And we want to avoid that, and we want to stick to more whole foods where it's like one ingredient, right? And it's okay if it's canned or packaged. Yes, I get that that means processed, but it's essentially one ingredient, like corn, green beans, peas, broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, uh, beef, turkey, chicken, fish. Okay, those are things that we're going to consider whole foods. Okay, fruits, vegetables, meat. If it grows on the earth, grows from the earth. Um, if it grows in the dirt, then it ain't going to hurt. Okay, so we want the majority of our nutrition to come from whole foods. 70 to 80%. Okay, and then 20% of our nutrition, this is the 80-20 rule, 20% of our nutrition or things that we eat can come from more processed stuff. And these are our sweets and treats, right? These are our favorite holiday desserts. This is the the cinnamon rolls, the cake, the cookies, the God, I don't even know. I know that my mother-in-law makes this stuff that we call it sweet bread or monkey bread, and it's basically like a bunch of cinnamon rolls that are smushed together and then drizzled with like some kind of like caramel glaze, and it looks like a brain like volcano looking thing. I can't even describe it, but I look forward to it every year because it's absolutely delicious, and that would definitely be something that would fit into the 20%, right? But if I'm putting that on my plate, that's going to be my carb, right? That's going to be my half a fist portion that I'm giving myself, and I'm going to have a full fist of protein and a full fist of vegetables along with that. That right there is my 80-20 plate. Does that make sense? So we're looking at portion control. The last thing I want to do is give you guys some practical tips and tricks for this time of year. And the first one is just mindful eating. Um, those of you who are jumping on or watching the replay of this who are my clients know that I've talked about this a lot. But eating should never be habitual. Okay. And when someone tells me, I just need better eating habits, I vehemently disagree with that because I don't believe that eating should be something that's habitual. It shouldn't be something that you just mindlessly do, right? This is putting fuel in your body. This is an important process. This is a life-sustaining process. This should be something that we're very mindful of, that we're paying attention to, that we're considering every time we're putting something into our body and how it's going to affect us. Eating should be a mindful process. We should never be in a position where we're just kind of like walking past a table with food at it and just mindlessly, like because it's there, habitually putting food in our face. We do though, and we do that more so this time of year because we go to a holiday party, a Christmas get together, a function, and there's always food everywhere. And that kind of mindless eating is encouraged. And it takes a lot of willpower to be like, nope, I had my plate, I had my portions, I chose what I was going to eat mindfully, and I'm not going to keep walking past that table and eating chocolate covered pretzels because I already had my half a fistful of whatever carb I was going to have, and I got to commit to that. And this is probably the more challenging part of this journey, but this is where we have to be strong, and we have to know that we want to eat mindfully. So mindful eating is about being present and enjoying each bite. So really, when you're eating your food, you should be really savoring it. And one way to do that is to just focus on the sensation, right? How does it feel when you take a bite of it? Is it crunchy? Is it soft? Is it sour? Is it sweet? Is it savory? Okay. Pay attention to those things. Slow down and savor your food. Okay, we get ourselves into a rut of bad eating habits when we're just like quickly eating. But when we take the time to slow down and really pay attention to how it feels, how it tastes, it builds in mindfulness, right? Um, it helps you recognize your hunger and fullness cues too. When we slow down our eating, then we start to notice like, okay, I'm actually like, I'm good. I think I've had enough of these. But we can very quickly overcome that by eating quickly. How many of you have ever heard the saying like, let your brain catch up with your stomach, or your stomach catch up with your brain? And I don't remember how it goes, but the idea is that you're eating food so fast before your stomach can process how much food is in it, and before that registers your brain, and your brain is like, wait, well, we're full, we're done, we can't eat one more bite, right? So we want to build mindfulness around that. This practice helps us recognize our hunger and cueness fools. It helps prevent overeating. And, through this process, we're going to explore techniques to enjoy your favorite holiday treats mindfully and ensure that every bite is conscious rather than just a mindless decision. Okay? Uh, is all that making sense? How many people do we still have? Does anybody have any questions? AM says, I ate 2 brownies last night. Let's ask if she was mindful about those. You know how I know she was? Because she logged them in her calorie tracker, and she was most likely still in a calorie deficit after she ate them. She was able to afford 2 brownies, and she knew she could afford 2 brownies, which is why she ate 2. So she enjoyed every last bite and was still in a calorie deficit. Last tip, plan ahead. Plan ahead. So a little planning goes a long way, especially during this time of year, especially during the holiday season. From meal prepping to navigating holiday parties, you want to plan out what you're going to be eating, what recipes you're going to be making, but ahead of time. I'm sure some of you already have a calendar of like what holiday parties you're going to. You're not going to wake up tomorrow morning, most likely, and go, oh, there's 3 parties that popped up today. No, you already know. You already have a holiday calendar. When the holiday parties are going to be 9 times out of 10. And you know that there's going to be a lot of food there. It's okay to plan ahead. It's okay to ask about what kind of foods are going to be there. It's okay to, let's say you have a holiday party that you're going to on Friday, and you know that they're going to have tamales, they're going to have cookies, they're going to have like your favorite peppermint brownies that are you look forward to all year. I don't know, whatever it is for you. Okay. The days leading up to that, like it's Monday, you can start eating in a deeper deficit so that when that party comes on Friday, you have some extra calories in the bank that you can then spend at that party. If you want to use this strategy, as my clients will tell you, you've got to track your calories. And if anybody who's joining this challenge that isn't a current client or hasn't worked with me wants some help with that and wants to understand how do you track your calories, what app do I use, how does that all work, please message me and we will help you figure it out, because it's not as difficult as you think. And if you don't believe me, ask yourself, how many times have you looked at your bank account this month? Because we're all doing Christmas shopping, right? I bet you guys have looked at your bank account more than any other app on your phone, except maybe Facebook and Instagram, because those are popular, right? But I bet on average, if you look at the months that you view your mobile banking account, I bet December, like November, December, probably more than any other month. And why? Well, we're buying Christmas gifts for people. We have a lot of money coming in and going out, and we want to know how much money is coming in and going out, right? It's the same way with your calories. It's the same process. It's an app on your phone that you're putting figures into, and it does simple math for you, and you just got to stay below this number and you're good. You do that with your bank account. I got to stay below this number. If I go over this number, I'm in trouble, right? I don't have there's only this much in the bank account. I can't go over this number. I got to stay below it. And none of us have an issue doing that, right? We do that religiously. We stay on top of that because we don't want to run that account down to zero. Imagine taking that same position, that same energy, and doing that with your calories. If you manage your calories the way that you manage your bank account, you'd be losing weight. Promise you. So if anybody needs help with that, if you want to learn how to do that, message us. We'll get you set up. We'll show you how to do it. It's not hard and it works. Okay. But if you're not doing that, if it's the holidays and you're like, I don't want to download another app, I don't want to do anything extra, I just want to get through this holiday season and not gain 8 to 12 pounds like most Americans do this time of year. Please help me do that. That's what these tips are for. So let's recap. We have understanding our slip-ups, understanding the slip-up cycle. We know that there's times where we eat one thing and then we say, oh, I blew my diet. Give yourself grace. It's okay to indulge this time of year. Please give yourself the grace. Give yourself permission to eat those holiday treats that you really love. Don't deprive yourself. Okay? That's what leads to those slip-ups, is when you say, nope, not going to do it, not going to do it, not going to do it. It's just one cookie. And then we're off to the races. Instead, say, you know what? I am going to have that one cookie. Okay? That's going to be my carb for today. That's going to be my carb for this meal. And I'm going to make sure I have my protein and my vegetables, and then this, give yourself permission, because then you're not restricting yourself, then you're not tempted, right? Balance. Follow the 80-20 rule. Make sure that the majority of your nutrition is still coming from whole foods. We're still eating fruits and vegetables. We're still eating protein and lean meats. Okay, we're limiting the amount. We're not restricting, we're limiting. It's balance. Okay? Let's practice mindful eating. Let's slow down and enjoy the food. This time of year is some of the best food than any other time of year. People go out of their way to cook some amazing food this year. Why eat it fast? Slow down and enjoy it. We had a friend from church that just made tamales, and I was so embarrassed because they were gone in less than 24 hours. We got a dozen, and they were gone. But I still made sure that when I ate one, I savored every bite, because those things are absolutely delicious. They were so good. Okay, take the time to slow down and enjoy your food, okay, especially this time of year, and be mindful about eating. Remember that we're eating to sustain life. Food is fuel. Food isn't bad or good. Food is fuel. Food is fuel for our body. And lastly, plan ahead. Okay, if you know that there's a party coming up and you're going to pig out, then cut back the week leading up. Maybe do some intermittent fasting. Eat less calories a few days in advance so that you have some extra calories in the bank that you can then indulge at that party. And I promise you, following these tips are going to lead to more success on your fitness journey. It's going to keep you motivated to lose weight, motivated to stay in shape, motivated for when January comes and you get all pumped up to go hard and really make this real. But also, you don't have to be miserable this time of year. You don't have to be that weirdo, there's the weird fitness guy who brought his own Tupperware full of chicken and rice to a party where we made all this delicious food. Don't be that guy. Don't be that lady. Okay? But we want to get to a point where, people show up, and you show up to a party next year, Christmas time next year, and you've lost all the weight, and you're fit, and you're in shape, and you're sitting there eating cookies or cake or pudding or whatever's there, and people are going, wow, you look amazing. How are you still able to eat those things? And you're going to be able to share these tips with them because you figured it out. You figured out how to do it. So, week 1 in the books. Week 1 in the books. Moving forward, we're going to be diving a lot deeper into some of these habits and some of the things that we're going to do. But I encourage everybody who's doing this challenge, keep showing up. Make sure you're drinking your water, okay? a gallon of water a day at 64 ounces minimum a day. Stay hydrated. Drinking enough water is 30% of this battle. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. Sleep is critical. Okay? Make sure you're getting 7 to 8 hours a night of sleep. Plan ahead. Now, those of you who are in this challenge, we have sent you, not only do you get the low FODMAP 42-day detox, 36 delicious recipes that are going to get rid of all that inflammation and bloat, but we've also given you 3 special menus. We've given you the holiday eats. So these are traditional holiday favorites like mashed potatoes, green beans, roast turkey, all kinds of good recipes in there, but they're lower calorie, higher protein, better for you, and still absolutely delicious. And then you have a dessert menu. We're talking pumpkin pie, pecan pie, brownies, lemon bars. Again, lower calorie, less sugar, higher protein, better for you, and still delicious. And then even you have a drink menu. You have like your hot chocolate, your eggnog, your peppermint, whatever. And there's even a few holiday cocktails if that's your thing. Okay? So use these. And please, if you guys make one of these delicious recipes from that menu, please, please, please take a picture of it. Post it in the group. Send me a picture of it. This is going to earn you points towards the contest. If you do this, you're more likely to win because you're going to rack up more points. Post a picture of something you made off of those recipes, or maybe just a healthier version of something you came up with. I'm good with that too. All of these things will earn you points in the challenge because remember, this is about holding yourself accountable for doing something different than you've done all the years before, making a change, doing something healthier. And by going to a holiday party and bringing something healthier, you get the opportunity to share this gift with another person. Because I promise you, there's somebody at the party that you're going to, at the holiday party, at your family Christmas, at your New Year's celebration, whatever it is. I promise you that there's someone there that's struggling. There's someone there that's looking in the mirror every morning and going, I don't like how I feel. I don't like how I look. I don't like that we're going to be doing holiday pictures and I'm embarrassed to be in them. I don't like that when I go up the stairs at night to tuck my kids in, I'm winded by the time I get halfway up the stairs. I don't like how my joints hurt because I'm carrying so much weight. I promise you, people are going to be at these Christmas and holiday events. And you have an opportunity to influence them and say, hey, here's what I brought. Just so you know, this is actually, it's delicious, but this is actually lower calorie and higher protein. And the reason I made this is because I'm on a fitness journey and I'm trying to eat healthier and lose weight and be mindful of these things. And so try these out. Start the conversation. You can bring about change in someone's life. Invite them to the challenge. Say, hey, you can join the challenge too. It's free. You'll get the recipe books too. You'll get, these lemon bars and everything else that's on the menu. We'll be running this challenge all the way through January. So we want to keep bringing people in. We want to keep changing lives. We want to keep inspiring people to be better and make these changes. And you guys get the opportunity to not only participate in this awesome contest, but you get the opportunity to take part in being that agent of change, and not only in your own life, but potentially somebody else's. So please, I encourage you to do that. Okay. With that being said, does anyone who's chiming in have any questions, anything that you want to ask, anything that you need from us? Kind of leave it open for a couple minutes here, answer any last burning questions in anybody's mind, and then we'll call it a night. Love you guys. I'm excited for this challenge. This is going to be an amazing holiday season. All right. With that, we're going to wrap up. We will catch you guys next Monday, same time, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Be here. We're going to be diving into some more good stuff, and let's keep crushing our goals, guys. We got this. Happy holidays.